an exciting announcement here on stage. It's my pleasure to introduce the founder and CEO of We Don't Have Time, Ingmar Rentzhog, for a special announcement that all of you can join in. So enjoy, take action.
Thank you, Katarina. I used to work in the finance industry, where I was head of one of the largest investor relation firms in the Nordic. But I'm not doing that anymore, because when I became a father myself, I realized I wanted to use my skills in communication to protect our future instead. And I'm not alone in that. According to a UN study, more than 80% of people globally want stronger climate action from their leaders. Still, we don't see enough change. How come? Because there exist some powers, some special interests that are working against change. And for many years, they have tried to deny the problem. That is not really working anymore, because everyone can feel the heat when they go outside. So they changed tactics and started to delay climate action instead. That is also not working so good anymore, because we here are scaling the solution at unprecedented scale. So they are now leveling up their game by starting to cancel science itself. And I have an example. This is the observatory in Mauna Loa. It has been measuring carbon dioxide in the atmosphere every single day since the 1960s. And last week, we were at record high, never happened before, 440 ppm. That is very much room for concern. We should have an emergency in UN. What are the new US administration doing about this? They try to cancel the observatory by ending the land lease to it, so we lose the data instead. That's crazy. And it's not only in US that science are under attack. In Europe, German far-right AfD threatens to tear down all wind turbines, to just close them. Why is that? Why is this happening? It's happening because one reason, and that is fossil fuel interests are starting to lose. In Europe, last year, renewables were outpacing fossil fuel. And it's not going to grow bigger fossil fuel. It's only going to lose more. And in US, 96% of all new electricity power produced last year were fossil-free. And it's unprecedented speed. You have all seen the exponential curves. New solar, EV, battery is going exponentially. So this is very positive. And scientists know how fast things go when it goes exponential. But for everyone else, I want to give an example of how fast exponential change actually feels. In 2004, it took the year to build 1 gigawatt of solar power a year. In 2010, it took under a month. In 2015, it took just a week. In 2023, it took a day. Last year, it took an hour. This is the speed of the green transition. This is what they are afraid of. They're afraid of losing. And it will have a lot of consequences. For example, when we go fossil-free, if we switch to renewable energy, the number of ships crossing the ocean will fall almost in half, because they're just transporting oil, coal, and gas. So if you're on the wrong side in business, you will be a loser. And some losers, they try everything to protect their position instead of change. And this action is also getting results that we want. In EU 2023, after the pandemic, emissions were falling down with 8%. That's very good news. And in China, it hasn't fallen down yet, but it's starting to flat out. And the economy are growing. So we can scale down the emission and grow the economy. But we need more, because according to science, we need to cut the emission in half every decade. And flattening out is not good enough. So why is this not happening? I am totally convinced it's not happening because we don't want it to happen. It's happening because some interests are fighting against change. If we remove them fighting against change, we will do this curve, no problem. And what have been on their side have actually been some scientist community. I'm talking about an example here, Harvard University. 5 years ago, there was big rebellion on their campus because they thought, the students thought it was a very bad idea to teach climate science, that we need to transition away from fossil fuel, while their own university are spending their money investing in fossil fuel. This is a campaign we run that we don't have time. And the good news, Harvard listened. So they divested from fossil fuel. They don't do that anymore. And that's why they are on the shit list of the US administration currently, trying to shut them down. And Harvard are taking that fight, and we are here to make them win. So this is what we don't have time to do. We are the world's largest media platform for climate action. Our job is to scale the action out there and get more people on board. We want to democratize knowledge about climate solutions. And on our platform, we have today 120,000 climate professionals working to drive change every day. They work together with more than 400 organizations, companies, and civil society organizations. And in order to push it out there to those not yet on board, we are broadcasting to more than 10 million people every single month. And it's the important people that are using our platform. It's media, it's policymakers, it's climate influencers, it's scientists, business leaders. Those are the people helping scaling the action. And I want to ask this audience, how many of you here have seen this picture of Greta Thunberg? This was We Don't Have Time photographer. It's the first picture taken of Greta Thunberg ever. We helped that message go viral to the world. We didn't do the action. We just make sure that more people know about it. Greta did action. And now everyone knows that we are in a climate crisis. So this is how we can create wave with communication. And what we need to do now is that we need to do something similar by making science great again. And how are we going to do that? First, we need to defend science. Wherever it's under attack, we need to tell that story. The observatory in Mauna Loa is not yet closed. Let's make millions of people fight for keeping it open. We will win that fight if we do it before it closes. If we only read mainstream media, they will report about it after it has closed and the fight is lost. So we need to defend science wherever it's attacked. But we also need to amplify the science we need. For example, how many here knows that we can cool the planet by 0.5 degrees quite fast if we limit emission of short-lived climate gases? That is an example of solution. We need more people on board and educate, especially the policymakers, because they don't know about the solution enough. And lastly, we also need to have dialogue with those that we don't agree with. That's very important, because that's how we can move things forward. We can't just cancel what we don't like out. And what we have been doing successfully in real time is to put corporates and political leaders, have a dialogue with them and ask them, why are they talking about science and not following the science? One example is that we had a dialogue with the largest pension fund in Sweden because they invested in Saudi Aramco oil. They were one of the largest investors in Saudi Aramco oil. So we put them online, we asked them why. And 2 months later, they didn't have so good arguments because they sold that. So you can create change with dialogue. But this will only work if you help us. So we need you. We need everyone to help us. So you can scan this QR code, and we need two things to succeed with this. We need a lot of people engaging with their time, and we need some money. If we get that, we will make sure that the special interest will not win the third time either. So warmly welcome and join us. And if you join us, you can also get a cap.
Thank you so much, Ingmar Rentzhog. I'm just now delighted to hand over to my dear colleague Nick Nuttall to moderate this panel with experts that will talk more about how we can man up here in the global community.